Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When I was trying to get this podcast off the ground, I had so many questions. How do I record an episode? Where do I find background music? How do I get my show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all the other places people like to listen? And where do I find advertisers? The answer to every one of these questions? Simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, distributing, and monetizing your podcast. And best of all, it's 100% free and 100% ridiculously easy to use. So if you've always wanted to start a podcast, what are you waiting for? Go to anchor.fm/start to join me and the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast. Hello, my feisty kittens. Are you surviving the coronavirus? It's like, yeah, it's like, are you prepared? It seems like this thing is like all over the place. Like, it's going crazy. It seems like it's like spreading really fast. Don't you feel like you're in one of those like those movies like Outbreak or something? Like, I keep telling people, watch I Am Legend. Yeah, I don't want to scare you, but there's like a little bit of good news. I was reading in, was it Dwell magazine, and they were talking about how there's like this prefab kit where you can make an off the grid like house. So I don't know if that's going to help you like before the coronavirus sets in. I think it's supposed to be like what, like hardcore by the summer or something. But it's worth a try. You can go check it out on dwell.com. They have the article on there. There's like, I've been looking at Costco. They were showing on Denver's news last night because of course everything is coming to Denver, including two people who have the coronavirus. So it looks like they're in quarantine or something, but like one of the guys actually had contact with people. So like they have all of them in quarantine too. It's just a mess. But so of course in a natural panic, in the same way that when newcomers hear that we're about to have snow, like everything flew out the shelves. Like, what? Like, everything's gone. They were showing, like, on the news, somebody was in Costco. The lady had, like, those big, well, it's Costco, but, like, those big rolls with, like, 248 in a pack or something. She had, like, 12 of those in her cart. And it's like, damn. And it's like, so apparently, hopefully, there's other uses for toilet paper in her house. I don't know. But it's like, it's just, like, the panic is setting in. No, I tell people you just gotta deep breathe. You gotta breathe. You gotta calm yourself down, and like make sure you got stuff in the pantry, right? Like got beans and rice. I love beans and rice, so I guess I'll be all right. It's like I guess I'll be all right. It's like, but you just you gotta focus because I do believe, and I talk to like my little student friends. Like you gotta stay balanced. So of course I'm very logical, but I've always been like a very like naturally intuitive person. So I go to both sides. When I need like some common sense, I go to my like more logical, analytical, scientific friends. And then when I need some people, they're like, okay, girl, this is what I'm tuning into. Okay, then I can go and balance. And so like, that's kind of the thing. And I do that. I was thinking about the coronavirus this weekend, and I was fortunate enough to this week, and hopefully you like tuned in. You'll see it on the blog, and I think on the Facebook page, the Straight from the Hip is posted already. But I had the pleasure of doing a interview with Oliver C. from the Talk with Oliver podcast on talkwitholiver.com. Really interesting premise because it's all about asking the host a question, and then we just kind of seeing where the conversation goes from there. So it was just a really pleasant experience, a great dialogue. Really enjoyed the conversation, and it was really well. It went like an hour and a half or something, and so we talked about a lot of different topics. But one of the things that we kind of centered around was just the topic of awareness and being in awareness itself of like what's going on in your life. So talking about not only external awareness but self-awareness as well. So like I said, really great dialogue. And so I just was thinking over the past couple of days with everyone going crazy over the coronavirus. And I was like, did it spread so fast? Like, remember when it first came out, everybody was like all mellow about it. Like, oh, don't worry about it. It's just in China. It's gonna take its time and spread. It's like a cold. Like, that's what we kept hearing. It's like a cold. Okay, no, people, it's a virus. So I kept telling people, like, yeah, you need to go get some of that Propolis, go get some of that bee pollen telling like you need to like protect yourself, antibiotics, people, I don't think is going to kick in well. But hey, I'm not a doctor. Let me give the disclaimer, I am not a doctor. Okay. But I just feel like there's certain common sense stuff, like washing your hands. You're seeing all of the alerts and everything. Wash your hands. Don't breathe on people. Like if you got a cough when you're in somebody's face or you're talking, lean in, cough into your shoulder if necessary. But I don't know. That's just how I was taught. But, like they're common sense precautions. But at the same time, and when I was thinking about like it just seemed like it started moving so rapidly, and I do feel like what was the Wayne Dyer book he had? It was like a whole discourse on like every time there's like a physical problem, something that you're seeing in the external world as a problem, that there's like a spiritual or like a higher level root to that root cause to whatever that problem is. And it kind of is similar to the Kabbalah teachings where there's the root and then the branches kind of hang down into the external, whether that's through thoughts or through your actions. And so I kind of was thinking, just meditating in that vein over the week, this past week, and just taking in some of the things that we had talked about on awareness, and just was thinking like this damn coronavirus thing, and it just kind of I was thinking about like we've been angry for it just seems like there's just been this boiling of anger over the past like maybe 2 years. Some will say maybe since the last election. So there's been that unsettling, that dis-ease, and everyone's irritated, like more shootings and all kinds of stuff going on. And then so that kind of wear and tear on your body can break down your immune system. So as a whole collective, wearing down the body with the constant drama, like I think there was like maybe 20 shootings like last week just around the country. So like there's so many like they can't even report. So there's always all this stuff. Your day to day, you're encountering negativity, people irritated, there's constant traffic, you're stuck on the highway. Like everybody's irritated about something. You can't say anything on social media without 10,000 people cussing you out. So it's just like a lot. So it's a lot of tension. And so when you hold the body at that level of sustained tension, then it will start to wear and tear at the body, and it does break down the immune system. So if you think about it as a collective, if this wear and tear has been on the body like this, then we're going through these elections. People are emotionally invested in these candidates during the preliminaries. Then they start dropping out. They step out of the race. So then that's another letdown. So the whole collective body's like immune system is kind of down. And it's like, and it allows, just if you're not in awareness, if you're not paying attention, if you're not shoring up your antibodies, or not even the antibodies, but if you're not shoring up, because that's not a good word that I want to use, if you're not shoring up the level of goodness in your life, it's like, because you got to have some sweet along with the bitter, the salty, so there, you've got to have the mix up. And if we're taking out all that joy, we're sucking out all of the good like that, it's like then you're going to reduce the collective body's ability to be healthy in a way that allows for continuous thriving. And whether that's mentally, whether that's emotionally, whether there's the psychological safety there to step out and to try something new or different, it's like that's not going to be as readily available if the collective immune system is down. And so that's kind of the thing. And it's like it just seems like everybody's just sick all at once. It's like it makes you terrified to leave the house, and it almost makes you feel like that's kind of the objective. So you want to just move through that or move around that, and you want to still, like I said, I tell people don't panic about the coronavirus, but do stay in awareness, use common sense, but at the same time don't let it just throw you completely off. Now, I will say that this is one time, as I'm always talking about the perks, but this is one of the perks of working remotely. But, it's like it's something to just be aware of as you're going through your day-to-day and just shoring up. The same way that, like, I have some friends who are like crazy vitamin freaks. I don't do any of that. But, like, crazy vitamin freaks are all into, they measure stuff out in the way they eat because they got to be so healthy. But then at the same time, their thoughts or, the collective belief or maybe their internal beliefs and judgments about about the collective and the collective's ability can sometimes be in doubt, and that manifests in a way where they don't think things are going to be as great as they hope it's going to be. So those type of like mindsets can pull back all the overall body health, and then that stems out because we are who we are, and internally what stems within is what we reflect in the world around us. So you just want to build up the immune system, build up the collective's immune system. See somebody and say good morning, and then how are you, and then literally take the pause to listen. And it's like, and so that's kind of the thing. And it's like, so I don't know, little acts of kindness, random acts of kindness, like the world probably needs them right now. So that's probably a good place to start. And I don't know, I might have to go over to the grocery and see if I can stack up on some beans and rice. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, but don't panic. Hey, it's Courtney with Intelligent Change with Courtney, and I just wanted to thank you for tuning in. I also wanted to remind you to hit the subscribe button so you can be notified as soon as a new episode comes out. That's it. I don't want you to miss any of this delicious goodness. That's right. This ear candy that's keeping you motivated in the ups, downs, and in-betweens of life as a digital nomad and micro-entrepreneur in the digital space. Enjoy the ride. So don't forget, hit the subscribe button and tell all your friends. Oh yeah, and if you're interested in working with me, hit the link in the bio. You're listening to the Straight from the Hip podcast with Courtney, where we're sipping on life, relationships, social media randomness, the future of work, and pop culture in a digital world. I'm your host, Courtney Jones, and thank you for joining me for Coffee and Convos. Hey, thanks for tuning in. You're listening to Straight from the Hip with Courtney Jones, the Entrepreneur's Lifestyle podcast. So, bring your cup of joe, settle in, and get ready for tips on dealing with stress, creating healthier relationships with others, and dealing with the ups, downs, and in-betweens of building a business and living life in a digital world. I'm your host, Courtney Jones, and thanks for tuning in.